guys, it's Sarah and today is Booklist Thursday. This is a video series I do with my friend Lindsay over at Lindsay's Little Library. And every Thursday we bring you some sort of list or book topic that we feel like talking about for the week. And this week we are going to be concluding our recommendations that are based on challenge stickers that we saw in the Etsy shop for Peanut Butter Taco. Monica is the creator of Peanut Butter Taco and she sells and creates planner stickers in her shop. She also has a reading planner that I have been using and really enjoying this year. And so she has a whole bunch of planner stickers for regular planning, like everyday planning, as well as reading, a whole lot of reading because she's a big reader as well. And we saw her post some of these thriller challenge stickers for the fall season. And so we decided to take those challenge prompts and we decided to apply them here and give you one recommendation that we have read that fit those prompts and one book that's on our TBR that fit those prompts. And Lindsay and I are doing different prompts every week. So it's been a lot of fun. This is the last one. So I'm going to give you 3 prompts and give you one recommendation and one TBR book that I have. And then Lindsay's going to give you 3 different prompts and do the same thing over there. So it's been a lot of fun. Okay, my first prompt is a dual timeline. So we are trying to definitely keep these kind of spooky books or thrillery books. And for my recommendation for a dual timeline is The Sundown Motel by Simone St. James. This is a ghost book and it's fantastic. This follows a girl who has recently lost her mother, and she feels very stuck in her life because of this. And she decides she wants to pursue something that has always really bothered her. Now, her aunt went missing when her aunt was a teenager. So this is like before she was born, she never knew her aunt, but it always bothered her that she went missing and was never found. No one ever found her. There was no body recovered any way, shape, or form. So no one knows what happened to her. So she decides she needs something in her life to kind of just occupy it. And so she decides to go and investigate. All these years later, she's going to investigate. And her investigation leads her to the Sundown Motel, which is where her aunt disappeared. So she inserts herself into this town, into this motel, and she tries to figure out if she can find any clues. And it goes from there. Let's just say there's some unfinished business at this hotel. And it was so good, you guys. And this one creeped me out. I mean, I could not read it at night. I was reading it at night and then I hit a scene and I said, nope. And I put it down. I said, I can't do this at night. Nope. Can't do it. Freaked me out. I had to read it during the day. It was fantastic. I absolutely love that book. If you haven't read it, definitely pick that one up. And then another one that is on my TBR is The Haunting at Bonaventure Circus by Jamie Jo Wright. This is a book that was sent to me. And this one is a dual timeline and it follows this circus that was taking place in this building. And in the past, there was kind of some hints that maybe a serial killer was on the loose and maybe targeting the circus. And then in the future, you're following a real estate agent who is trying to, I think she gets assigned to try to sell this property where the circus was. And there's some things that are lingering there. And so she's trying to figure out why all these weird things are starting to happen around this property and all that stuff because she's trying to sell it and it's like a whole thing. So I've heard good things about this one though. The next prompt I have is an unreliable narrator. This is something that's pretty popular, so lots of things to choose from. I'm going to go with the OG on this one and say The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. I loved that book when I read it. If I read it today, I don't know that I would love it quite as much. I think I would still enjoy it, but definitely kind of one of the first big unreliable narrator books that became very popular. And this one follows a woman who takes the train to work every day, and she becomes kind of obsessed with this house that she passes every day because she is seeing the couple that lives there and she becomes a little bit obsessed with them. And so when she sees them and what they're doing in their house and she sees them outside in their backyard, which is overlooking the train tracks and all this stuff, she just becomes almost feeling like she's part of their family, like it's a whole thing. And then one day she suspects that the woman has gone missing and that maybe she was killed. And so she kind of is inserted into this investigation and becomes part of it and all that. However, she's very unreliable because she is an alcoholic. So does she really know what she saw? Because she was drinking at the time. When she tried to go to the police to report something, she was also drunk. So it was like it was a whole thing with being unreliable and not knowing whether or not this woman could be trustworthy with her information. And she didn't trust herself either because she was questioning if she even saw what she says she did. So that was kind of, I would say, one of the biggest popular unreliable narrator books that I have on my TBR that I would really like to read is Before I Go to Sleep by S.J. Watson. This is a book that Krista sent me for our Christmas book exchange. And the narrator in here is unreliable because this follows a woman who was in an accident, and that accident caused her to be unable to create new memories. So she wakes up every morning not remembering anything about her life at all. Not the previous day, not as a young child, like not as a teenager, nothing. She doesn't remember anything. And things, so she has to go through every single day, and she's married. So her husband is having to tell her about her life every single day. And, but I don't know if she actually starts to gain some memories or if she starts writing things down or whatever, but she's starting to piece together some things that maybe aren't quite right. And, that's all I really know about it, but definitely unreliable because she can't rely on her memory because it's not really there anymore. So yeah, I'm excited about this one. And the last prompt for me is Trapped Together. So I'm going to talk about a trilogy, and I'm going to talk about the Pines trilogy by Blake Crouch. And this trilogy was so thrilling. I read this trilogy so quickly, I could not put it down. And this follows a police detective whose partner goes missing. She is on an assignment with another officer, and they are going to go and investigate something in this small town somewhere, and she never comes back. And it's something that I think I can't remember if it was like over a period of time she doesn't come back, or she just doesn't come back right away, or people can't get a hold of her or something like that. So just like, danger bells go off. So her partner sets off to try to find her, and he goes to her last known location, which is like right outside this town. And so he goes into this town to try to find her, and he realizes nobody in this town can leave. You can't leave this town. And they're trapped there. It's an entire town. So it's not like, they're trapped in this little area or they're trapped in this building or whatever. The entire town that cannot leave for a very specific reason. And it was very good, very fast paced. I'm not going to give anything else away, but it was awesome. And for a book on my TBR where there's a situation where people are trapped together, Survive the Night by Riley Sager. And this one is set in the 90s. It follows a college student who is traveling home for a holiday, and she goes to a ride share where she's trying to find somebody who can give her a ride to where she's going. And she gets paired up with this man named Josh. I think his name is Josh. And they are driving to her home. So it's a big road trip type thing, but they're riding together because they're going the same place, save some money, all that good stuff. In the background, there is a serial killer that is on campus, and her best friend was murdered by this serial killer. So she's dealing with her grief in that as well. And she's, pretty scared. And while they are driving, she is, starting to question things that he is saying, and question like some of the things he's saying or, information he's giving her about him and his life aren't really quite adding up. And she starts to wonder if she's in the car with the serial killer that killed her best friend. So, trapped in a car. I'm so excited to read this. Okay, guys, that is going to be it for the thriller sticker challenge prompts that we found on Etsy. So again, I will link Monica and her shop down below. Please go and check her out. She's fantastic and she's super sweet. And make sure you go check out Lindsay and see what 3 prompts she's talking about today, because they are different from mine. And we hope that this series for this month gave you some really good thriller and spooky, scary recommendations for both the month of October, but for the fall season as well. I know people like to read this type of stuff all throughout the season, so I hope it gives you some good ideas and some good books to check out. And we will see you guys again soon. Hope you have a great day. Bye.